Joining us now to talk about this is Chris Walker, the Executive Director of Second Vote, the creator of that app. Chris, thanks for being with us.
Hey, John. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
It's great to talk to you. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody at home as well. Now, Chris, your app gives users access to information about the political contributions made by stores or their ownership at which the customers shop. Why would somebody want to know this type of information?
Well, because it's a part of what we're doing as a culture right now. You know, a good friend of mine said, why are you politicizing businesses as well? And my response is, we're not politicizing them. They're already political. We're trying to provide you the information. And as conservatives, we've been at a disadvantage for a long time. The left has done this really well for probably 20 or 30 years in terms of pressuring companies into supporting their pet causes, whether we've seen it with Alec or the CEO at Mozilla or whatever. So we've wanted to try to provide that counterbalance at Second Vote, and we found that the best way to reach people as they shop is through their smartphones. That's why we created the app to do that.
So, Chris, of course, your app is geared toward conservatives, but liberals can use it as well. Now, which companies are the most liberal? Which are the most conservative as far as, you know, the major companies that we all go to?
About 70% of the companies that we've scored right now are liberal or lean liberal. So that goes from Ford to Walmart to Gap to a lot of the shops that we would frequent on Friday. Typically tend to lean to the left. That includes issues like education, whether or not they've supported Common Core. It leads to issues like the Second Amendment, whether they've supported groups like Mayor Bloomberg's Mayors Against Illegal Guns or whatever. So we do it across a myriad of issues, so you can see through your smartphone what companies are supporting on the other side. And again, the list is pretty long on the left, but particularly to me, somebody like Walmart, who you'd think their shoppers are relatively conservative, leans far to the left, particularly on donations directly to groups like Center for American Progress, which is the really left-wing group headed by the Podestas.
Very surprising.
And that is surprising somewhat, Chris, and especially when you think about Walmart and its reputation and its kind of adversarial relationship with labor. But I did want to ask you, why do you think it does tend to lean more in favor of liberal retailers?
I think that's a great question, and part of the reason is because we've, as conservatives, have not done a good job to use something like Second Vote in the past. And Morgan, you're right. We can liberals can use this as well, but what we're seeing is not really this counterbalance, which is why we created this app in the first place, to really try to make a difference with the conservative consumer. The left is organized and does this very well. They've done it for a number of years. We hope that something like Second Vote, which is a tool that anyone can use, really helps evening that playing field.
So, Chris, why is this important? Why should consumer brands be associated with political ideology, or should they?
Well, it's important for a number of reasons. One, when you care about an issue, you should know what is funding your opposition or your support. So, you know, we all vote at the ballot box. We all take that time to take the time and do the research on Election Day. But we don't do that when it comes to the shopping that we do every day, and that's why we think this is important. For instance, my home state of Tennessee, we had a Life amendment that was on the ballot this year, and the Life folks were outspent 4-1. And a lot of that comes from corporate contributions to groups like Planned Parenthood and NARAL and other groups, and there isn't that conservative counterbalance. So we feel it's important for an issue like this to really make that difference. We can help tip the balance by alerting companies and taking our dollars elsewhere if companies don't listen to us.
All right, Chris Walker, Executive Director of Second Vote. And tell us where folks can find this new app, in case folks, when they head out. Go ahead, Chris.
Yep, it's at secondvote.com, the number 2, ndvote.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at Second Vote. And it's available on all your smartphones, Amazon, Apple, everything else.
All right, good stuff. Chris Walker, Skyping in to us from Nashville, Tennessee, also known as Nas Vegas. Chris, have a good weekend. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Thank you.
All right, Morgan, I really commend people who are willing to put aside the lowest price and buy something for a political reason like that.
Commendable.
Yeah. Well, all right, more to come here at America's Forum. Our third hour is coming right up after this.